Is going on, everybody? Welcome back to PlayStation Generation episode 73. My name is Matt, and I'll be your host for today's events. I'm joined, as always, by the Buckley's Buccaneer himself, Mr. Denny Rukun. What's up, Denny?
What's going on, man? How are you guys?
I didn't want to use boy, and I wanted to think of another alliteration that works. Like bro, okay, like bro's a soft landing point. Like boy works, but like I wanted to land on something that sounds a little more like epic. And Buccaneer is what came out, so we'll roll with that.
I love it because guess what? Your alliteration went so hard. You did the first three letters of each word. You went buck. Four letters.
Oh,
no, 3 letters.
Yeah, I did that on purpose. What a plan.
Happy accident.
How you doing, Denny?
Oh, living the dream, my guy. Living the dream.
You ready to talk some stuff this week?
What is the dream?
Let's talk some stuff. And we couldn't talk stuff unless, of course, we have the PlayStation Hokage himself, Mr. Rice. Boy, hanging out with us as well. What's up, Rice?
What up, everybody? We back. And this time I did homework.
That's right. I saw Rice like pop on the dock like shortly after I sent it out this morning, and I was like, "Oh wow,
boy, Rice."
Is he like? Did his wife get to his phone? Is he like sleep accessing Google Docs? Because like, there's no other possible reason why he'd be opening it.
I may have had like a little bit of caffeine in the morning, you know what I'm saying? And then from there,
so you had some caffeine.
also,
And answer me this then. Was this dock opened whilst you sat on a porcelain throne?
Oh, that is a good question. And you know what? Most of the time it would be. But I was actually in a nice park. It was a nice day. We were
just shitting in the park.
Outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I touched grass while also being online.
Touch grass with ass on your phone. This week's show, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff. Get ready for some State of Play news because it was announced and it hit. And we're going to talk all about it. We're going to talk about some Ghost of Yote as well. Reviews went live. We're going to talk about some Kojima. We're going to talk about some Wolverine and a whole bunch more. So strap in and prepare thyselves for the show of the century. But before we do all that, let's check in on what's been keeping our boys busy. Denny, what you been playing this past week?
So I switched it up.
Ooh.
And I started Silent Hill F.
Okay. Hold on. So this was both a new game that you purchased close to release, and you're playing it close to release?
Don't judge me, okay? I know it's not like me, but I did it.
Okay. It's okay. It's a safe
trying something new.
It's a safe space.
Yeah. I even streamed it a little bit.
And?
Oh, yes.
Didn't
you stream before this?
I did. I streamed this afternoon.
I saw that you went live.
Yeah, man.
Well done.
And like, Danny, in case somebody wanted to see you stream, like, where could they do that real quick?
Twitch.tv/DennyArcade.
Thank you. And Silent Hill F, how are we feeling about it so far?
A little bit of a slow burn. The first like 10 minutes, I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
Right. If it doesn't like kick your teeth in the first 10 minutes,
like
into the backlog it goes.
Exactly right. Like Resident Evil 2 knew what to do, so I'm just saying. But you know what? It's okay because like I just sat there and I read some journal entries, and then I started to do stuff, and then shit got weird, and I got uncomfortable, and good times were had all around.
Okay.
I'm not very, very deep in. Like I just did I just got to that altar thing. I don't know. Like literally, I don't know what's going on because nothing has been explained. One minute, some girl owes me like 500 yen. The next thing I know, like I'm being chased by the fog. And then shit goes down, and then that's it. That's all I know. That's all I can explain so far.
I'm like not a horror game person, but I've like in the last couple of years, I dove into like Resident Evil 4 remake and loved it. Played Alan Wake 2 and loved it. Played Silent Hill 2 remake and surprisingly loved it.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, we'll see what happens with Silent Hill F. Obviously, this series has a checkered past in terms of its quality. But like, I might pick this up in a couple of weeks as we kind of get closer to Halloween and I get off of the mountain fucking top of reviews that I've been on. I might pick this up and give this a whirl. I'm starting to feel like the creepy vibes. I like the Halloween spookiness, you know?
Spooky season's here. It's just around the corner.
Yeah, and I mean, like again, there's so many reviews that are calling this like the best Silent Hill. Yeah, like a fantastic entry.
That's incredible.
You know, I might be I might be pulled in here, Denny.
Be ready to be uncomfortable.
I think that's just most of my life, but that's okay. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, and I'm excited to hear about whatever you're going to drop this for in a week's time. Whatever 20-year-old game you're going to stop playing.
I'm literally dropping it on Tuesday for Final Fantasy Tactics. But anyways,
well, okay, almost 30-year-old game.
Well, at least you're consistently inconsistent.
At least, but I've heard this is pretty short though, so I feel like you can rip through Silent Hill F in a couple sittings if you really wanted to, and just get it out of the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard it's
like 10 hours.
10 hours is what I heard. I'm excited to check it out. I hope you continue to enjoy it. I'm curious to hear your thoughts in about a year's time. Rice, my boy, what you been playing?
Still loving my time with Borderlands. I'm sinking hours and hours into this game. And it's like a really, really nice. I mean, guys, it's no secret that I was on Destiny 2 as a daily driver. This Borderlands 4 has become my daily driver. Yeah,
I have heard that 4 feels like a good mix of like what Destiny used to be and like the best of Borderlands. So this feels like it was like DNA digivolved for Rice,
I think so, and I think it's smart too. I mean, like you could have seen the trajectory with Destiny 2 a couple of years ago. And a lot of people predicted where it would be at now, where it is now. And I think that there's just a lot of people who are they want the looter shooter genre because that's what they love. But they wanted a new experience, but one that would draw them in again. And I think this is one thing that people are jumping ship for. So, and I'm for it.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I hope you continue to enjoy your time with it. As for myself, I've been busy. I played and reviewed Final Fantasy Tactics for But Why Though. Reviews went live a couple days ago. My review's up there. I gave it a 9. It is fantastic. Story rules, combat. I like the first couple fights. I was like, yo, I've never played this Tactics before. I played Tactics Advanced back in the day, but I never played the OG Tactics for no reason other than I just didn't. I was like, the first couple of fights, I was like, man, this is like kind of simple. And then like as you unlock jobs and job swap, and then you get into the character star signs and the compatibility, but there's so much cooking under the surface here that if you didn't really go looking for it, like you would not be the wiser. Story rules, a story that almost being 30 years old still feels incredibly relevant today, given how shit the world is and how much racism and class warfare is still alive in the year 2025. A story that still hits really hard.
Yes.
The new voice acting is incredible. There was not one performance that didn't deliver, in my opinion. And it really helps just bring these characters, to life. It's just fun. It's always like a funny mental disparity for me when like the models are like so like cute and chibi and little, but like the story around it is like so dark and like fucked up. That it's like the voice acting really helps to bring that gravitas in.
Sure.
And kind of helps layer that kind of seriousness in on top of already what's going on. Really, really, really fantastic for anybody who hasn't played. I would argue probably one of the best Final Fantasies. Like Tactics is genuinely that good. And like there's also the game comes with like both the new version and the classic version, so you can kind of choose which one you want to play through. I played the new version. All the quality of life updates and like the menu reworks and everything it just works really, really well. So highly recommend that. My full reviews over on But Why Though, so go check that out. And of course, I played, beat, and reviewed Ghost of Yotei. We've had so much coverage here on the site this past week, so you can find you can find my video review, my written reviews on the channel, and Bobby, Steve, and I sat down for over an hour-long discussion to talk about the game. I love this game so very much. I liked it more than Tsushima, which I didn't expect to coming into it. Atsu's a fantastic character. Erika Ishii plays them to perfection. Like I expected her to just be this like consistently dark and dour character. And while she is serious most of the time through, the moments where she like breaks or cracks and like you see that bit of like amusement or hope pull through just completely land. The new combat system is the old combat system with a new skin on it. Like as like the stances are gone now, replaced by weapons, but it's the same thing where like if you're not using the right weapon against the one that it's strong against, you're basically gonna get like deflected and the stagger is not gonna be as high. The damage output isn't gonna be as high. So like while it still is like that almost like rock paper scissors, like they're using they're using a katana, I have to use my katana. They're using an odachi, I have to use my odachi. They're using a yari, I have to use my dual katanas. That kind of give and take is always there, but it feels really great. Tossing weapons, easily my new favorite mechanic in this game, where like they're like, in the first one, if a character flashed blue, you could deflect their strike. If it flashed red, you have to dodge. Now there's a yellow flash that happens, where you have to hit triangle and you can disarm them. But if you don't land the disarm, then they'll disarm you and your weapon goes flying, and you have to like go and pick it back up off the ground.
Stop.
Or if you knock theirs out of their hand, you can pick it off the ground and just like literally you turn into like Bullseye from Daredevil, and you just beam it through people, and you can find weapons like strewn about. So literally I'd just be like picking weapons up and throwing them like across the map into a person. It always felt so fucking satisfying to just level someone with that. Story's incredible. Just peed everywhere.
That's all over the floor.
Story's incredible. While it is a little bit repetitive in its structure, the actual content in that repetition differs, where like basically you get to a new area, you learn about the OT6 member in that area, you get close to them, they run away, then you have to hunt them down all over again. That core structure, while everything and like the circumstances and everything that happens around them is incredibly different, and it's all fantastic. You can't help but kind of notice the similarities in it up until like the final portion of the game. It took me about 30 hours to finish it, doing like a bunch of side stuff in the first 3 quarters, and then less so as I went on, just because I was trying to get to the end before embargo. The side content feels more ingrained than before, where like there's no experience bar. Like you're not as you're taking out enemies, you're not gaining like any experience for it. Now when you find shrines, you level up a node. When you find like just like the baths, you max out you get more HP. You find the bamboo strikes, you get more towards your spirit. So like all of the things around you are much more ingrained in Atsu's character progression. So doing all that feels much more worthwhile and feels much more important, because it's not just checking, a check on a checklist. It's actually contributing to Atsu as a character. It's so unbelievable. Like it's really, really good. The only things that kind of stood out to me were the repetition and kind of like the general arcs within each kind of contained area of the story. And I did have some technical issues. Nothing game breaking, nothing that would really nothing that ever took away from the experience, but it was stuff like, there's a set piece kind of earlier on where you're running and you jump off of something and you land on the ground. And when Atsu landed on the ground, she landed like flat, like, it was like a scripted moment, but then she her character model just like popped back up and stood there while like it was clearly playing the animation of her getting up, but Atsu was just standing there already. Or like another moment, there was like a conversation around a campfire, and like everybody else was seated on logs and Atsu was floating like 4 feet above it. And there was this like one like really emotional moment where it's supposed to like pan to her face, and all I saw was this, like her torso. And I couldn't see her face at all. Things like that just like, again, while it was only happened a handful of times, but the other thing is like the wind feels far too aggressive, to the point where like if you're standing having a conversation with someone, like sometimes like my clothes or my cape, or like sometimes like depending on what weapon skin you're using, there's like a tassel at the end. This thing was like violently waving around, like, and it's like I'm standing in the middle of a village, there's plenty of coverage around, why is the wind kicking off so hard? If I was like on a mountaintop, or like, why am I in the middle of a forest and this is happening? It's little things like that was like immersion breaking for a second, and then I was right back into it. But I really, really loved it. We have some questions that we didn't get to in our in our review discussion that I want to pull in. John 32 said, does it live up to the legacy of Ghost of Tsushima? Does it meet your hype level expectations? Absolutely. This surpassed my expectations. I went in expecting like a similar experience, and while this is not like heads and shoulders above Tsushima, I felt closer to this story and to this cast than I did the first one. And I liked the new weapons instead of the stances. The world itself feels more important graphically. One of the most beautiful games, like this and Death Stranding 2, probably up there for me in terms of like how just painstakingly gorgeous these worlds are. And like Tsushima, like even like the camera mode, they did so much to it to make it look so good. So it surpassed my hype expectations. I didn't think it would like come close to my game of the year with Expedition 33, and like it's almost there. It hasn't surpassed Expedition 33, but it's gotten closer than I thought it would. And then Black Wyver writes out, can't wait to listen to this one. Could highlight 3 changes in the game that has improved your experience compared to the previous. The side content being much more important and much more ingrained in kind of the story. The weapon chucking, I just love it so fucking much.
Ooh,
and the story's really great. I really enjoyed it. And it actually does this cool thing where at the beginning, as you're hunting down enemies, you can you like get information out of them about like you, and you can only each one ask like each person one thing. So like depending on what information you gather, you can actually kind of choose out of a few of them which Yote 6 member you want to go to first. So you actually have a bit of agency in your choices in the first little while of the game. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's been me the last couple weeks. I'll have more to talk about soon, but I can't comment on just yet. But yeah, Yote fucking rules.
Let's go.
And let's pull these in real quick because I wanted to hit on a couple of reviews here. As you mentioned, Silent Hill F. I never expected this kind of coming in with 87 on top critic average, like crazy numbers for like what a swing for Konami. Yote at an 88 again. Like I think it was a couple points above what Tsushima was at. Hades 2 obviously killing it, but that's not at PlayStation yet. I wanted, what was the third one? Tactics. That's what I wanted. And Tactics also at an 88. So like just an onslaught of incredible games this past few weeks with Trails, with Tactics, with Yote around the corner.
Let's go.
With Digimon around the corner, with Borderlands. Like it's nonstop. But I've talked for quite a while, so let's kick into some news and talk about. Let's kick things off with the big boy here, because of course we had our State of Play, September State of Play, which we theorized and discussed last week. But let's get into it. We're going to go over our predictions after Denny did the hard work of going back and kind of marking us. So we'll take a look at that after. But this recap, of course, by Dennis Price over here on Console Creatures. Shout out to Dennis for always putting these things together. Before we kind of get into all the announcements, Denny, you watched it, yeah? Or you went through the announcements? How do we feel about the State of Play as a whole?
I liked it. There was a lot that caught my attention. Actually, Saros kind of was that and Wolverine, but honestly, Saros was the highlight for me. Was not expecting the gameplay to be that. I haven't played Returnal, so I can't say if it's similar or not, but what I saw, I really liked. It really piqued my interest. And when I saw it, I remember the first time we saw the trailer, I was like, oh, I remember this now. But other than that, I feel like we saw a lot of some of the stuff we already knew about. Like, I wasn't really too... I don't care about like a couple of the remasters that are coming out, or like some of the DLC. Well, actually, I do like the Mega Man DLC idea. That's kind of cool. But all in all, not bad. I think they've tried to set it up just like they did last year, because I feel like we got the Wolverine trailer, which was similar to like what the Ghost of Yote trailer was last September, to make sure we have something that we're constantly being reminded to look forward to next fall.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought that this was a really solid showing. I think that this was better than I expected and kind of tease up a nice, like, I think this is what they needed to kind of tee up 2026, because we've talked about, you know, at length about all of the things that we didn't know about, and now we have some shit to look forward to. So let's run through the announcements. Saros, of course, kicked off the show. We got a lengthy, like, I think 5 or 6 minute look at this game, starring Rahul Kohli, coming from Housemarque, who did Returnal, coming on March 20th, 2026. Just like you, Denny, I loved what we saw here. It feels like Returnal, but more accessible. I am not a person that likes hard games. I fucking loved Returnal. I played it when it was like right at the beginning, when like you couldn't even save your runs or anything else was happening. Like when it was like I had my PlayStation on for days at a time trying to conserve runs. Saros, like, it looks like it gives you like some shielding abilities, some revives. Like, it looks to drill down on everything that Returnal did so well, while also making it just a little bit more accessible for players who might not be good at these like bullet hell type games.
I have to say, the gameplay, the one thing that really like just blew me away is just, and again, I don't know if this is also part like Returnal's DNA as well, but it was just fluid. Like the actual gameplay, once you get into combat and just how everything looked, it just was just not even in terms of frame or anything, but the actual gameplay just looked fluid. And like, you know, someone who has played, like, we've played like Devil May Cry and things like that, which are style based, which means, you know, you got to have like the flashy looking like combos and stuff. And it kind of made me think of just like that kind of stuff. Like this isn't like Gears of War or Resident Evil where you're gonna stop and then you're gonna aim and then you're gonna shoot and you're gonna have like almost like a clunky experience in that sense where it's that like this is just you're running, you're gunning, and it's just it just looks gorgeous. Like I was just blown away by seeing this, and it really hyped me up for this game. Just seeing that footage alone.
It definitely captures that Returnal DNA of like you have to be, if you're not moving, you're dead. Like you can't stop and take your shot. Like you constantly have to be like, you know, running around the area, picking your spot, picking where you're going to shoot from, picking where you're not going to shoot from, where you're going to stop to try and do whatever it is you need to stop for. But like you have to kind of nail that momentum. And Housemarque is, you know, they're unstoppable when it comes to doing that. They've been like that for a long time, and this kind of just continues to nail down that feel.
Yeah,
Rice, how are you feeling about Saros?
It looks very, very exciting to me. I mean, the familiarity of, I mean, if you played Returnal, you know, you'll expect to see some similarities there, and I just think it looks so beautiful. There's so much to look at here.
Yeah.
And so I'm very, very excited about this. This is probably gonna be a day one for me, because I loved Returnal so much. So I'm gonna be enjoying this experience for sure.
Me too, and very excited to see Rahul Kohli in the lead role. Like the guy is fantastic. So I'm really stoked to see him being here. Yeah, very excited. Easily one of my highlights out of all the things. Zero Parades for Dead Spies got a official gameplay trailer. This is coming from Zaum, the developers that did Disco Elysium. While I do think this looks cool, I am kind of watching this with one eye because of the total drama and shit that went on with this studio. A number of the original team has left, and like there's this the studio basically like splintered and fractured after the success of Disco Elysium. So a number of the people, including the lead writers, who were, you know, just one of the best things about Disco is its writing, are no longer there. So like, I'm curious about this one. I like the way that it looks. I think graphically it has like a really cool sense of style.
Sure,
but I'm a wait and see. On
reluctant.
Yeah. Microsoft Flight Sim is around the corner, coming December 8th with PSVR 2 support and development, which is fucking sick for the 7 of us that still have PSVR 2.
I feel like that number went down from the last time you made that joke.
Probably. I mean, I'm sure it is going down. Court used to have one, and then he sold it because there's nothing here. Battlefield 6 got a campaign trailer. I mean, looks cool. Looks like more Battlefield. We already know that one's October 10th. Deus Ex Remastered hitting February 5th, 2026. Halloween the game is a trailer along with the release date of September 8th, 2026. Last Epoch and Last Epoch expansion Orbis are coming sometime in the future. By the way, guys, stop me if you want to talk about any one of these. I'm just kind of rolling through them. If you're hyped about anything, just let me know. Seven Deadly Sins Origin has got a gameplay trailer coming January 28th, 2026. I understand that Seven Deadly Sins is a popular anime and manga. I truly have never given it a shot because like this is my own bias. I fucking hate the way that it looks. I hate
the chibi look.
Yeah, art style is a huge. I get it.
Yeah, just the art style.
But that said, it's very good.
Is it?
It's very good. I have my own like opinions about how it goes in later seasons, but the first few seasons hit pretty good for me.
Okay, maybe I'll try giving them.
So I mean, like,
but yeah,
yeah.
The art style. Just looking at it every time I look at it, I'm like, man, it's just so ugly. In my opinion,
I actually had the same sentiment. Like I did, like when I first started it, and I'm just like, man, it's not pretty to my eyes. But as I committed to it, I was like, oh, this is good.
It's like Dollarama version of Hunter x Hunter. Like that's what this looks like to me.
Yeah. Anime from Timu.
Yeah. Sonic Racing Crossworlds is getting a Mega Man DLC pack. This release is setting both Mega Man and Proto Man. I would be more excited about this if this was the Battle Network skin, but you know, I understand that I'm alone in that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you are.
No. Neo 3 got a release date of February 6, 2026. Bryce, how are you feeling?
Crazy. I did not know it was that soon. So like I'm excited for this, man. I'm gonna be all over this. Considering like a lot of the other games that I've played by the studio, like I kind of owe it to myself to do this day one. So
dude, like February and March are already getting fucking busy. Like
I know
they're already starting to pop off, and I'm sure it's only gonna get worse in the next few months.
I'm eating
Speaking of
ramen.
March, yeah, eating ramen and like I'm just gonna just sleep by the TV. Dynasty Warrior 3 Complete Edition Remastered is coming on March 19th, 2025. Code Vein 2 is coming January 30th, 2026. Final Fantasy Tactics got a new look. The enhanced opening movie is beautiful. It looks fantastic. September 30th.
So pretty.
Let It Die Inferno is coming December 3rd. Chronoscript The Endless End got a debut trailer coming sometime in 2026. Probably one of my favorite showings from this entire State of Play. I thought this looks insanely gorgeous. It's like, what if
gorgeous
the Lucky Squire was like an art, like looked like old school.
Yeah,
I think this is stunning.
Yeah. Absolutely, the art style is it. That's what drew me in. Really, I'm like, oh, what is this? Right at the very beginning, and then it just kind of got better as you watched.
Yeah, like seeing them like move between books through like the ink and stuff, just really cool shit, really creative stuff here. Crimson Desert, March 19th. This is that game that looks like it's going to have everything. Very excited to check this one out. Again, another March game. We got Pulse Elevate wireless speakers. These are going to connect to your computer, but you can also connect to like your portal, which is kind of crazy. I might pick these up if they're not atrociously expensive. I think they look kind of cool.
Curious about the chat features.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, because that's what they were boasting too, like that you can that you can use these for chat. So I'm interested in that part specifically.
I'm curious. I am curious. Gran Turismo 7 is getting a Spec 3 update coming in December. We got a new God of War 20th anniversary controller. While I do think this is pretty simple, it at least doesn't just look like they threw 1,000 stickers on the fucking thing and called it a day.
Sure.
Like I do like it for what it is. I won't be buying it, but I do think it looks all right. Why?
If they added felt or like a beard, that could sell me.
I don't know if I could like I don't like from the sensory output.
Your
of, like,
sensory stuff.
Feeling like fuzzy beard every time I go to use that controller. I don't know if I can handle that.
Okay, well, I just outed myself, but you know, all the people who like that texture, say hey.
Crickets. And of course, we got a Wolverine deep dive. We got a lengthy gameplay trailer. We know that it's coming fall of 2026. This looks badass as fuck. A lot of people were like, oh my god, are they going to go T? And they, a teen rating, but very quickly they throw it out the window and literally put Wolverine's claws right through a guy's face, mangling it to shreds. I loved everything that we saw from this. Denny, how are you feeling about it?
I want it. I want it right now. I need it. It looked so good, and I want to know more about it. I have so many questions. It's gonna be great. I'm already going to just lose my shit over it right now. It's gonna be great. I can't wait. It cannot come any sooner.
Dude, Insomniac just took the PS5 and like put it on his back, and we're like, I guess we're the only ones that are gonna do anything this generation. Between like Spider-Man 2, Ratchet and Clank, Wolverine, like they've basically just been like, we got this, guys. Don't worry. All of y'all play with your live service, even though they had one in the books as well. But I would have wanted that Spider-Man live service. I'm sad I never got it. But Rice, how are we feeling about Wolvie?
Dude, okay. I don't know if I've shared this, but my two actual favorite Marvel characters are Wolverine and Spidey. And Wolverine has a special place in my heart because like that was my first my entry into Marvel was the X-Men, and Wolverine is someone that I gravitated towards. So I'm excited and biased in that way, but I am so intrigued with how they are going to approach Wolverine's character and explore stories around his experience. Because yes, we're gonna get this visceral kind of violent hero, but there's also like a gentle part of Wolverine that you see in a lot of the different iterations. So how they kind of play with those two polar kind of opposites is going to be interesting. So yeah, I'm all in.
Did you watch the Behind the Claws video? Because what you're saying literally is like spot on to what they're saying, like what they want to do with him.
Yes. And so like that's the most interesting part of his character that I'm so invested in. So that's yeah, that's exactly what I'm here for. Wolverine, man, all day. This is what we've been waiting for. So when this came out, on top of the fact that it's going to be a mature rating, is crazy.
Yeah, like we already know we're gonna be going to Canada, Madripoor, and Tokyo. Or I don't know if they said Tokyo or they said Japan, but one of the two. But like this game just looks like everything that I wanted from it.
Mm.
Like as shit as the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie was, the game was like
So
genuinely great. Like genuinely
So
fantastic. And ever since then, like I've had that itch for another like really Wolverine focused experience. We got looks at Mystique, we got looks at Omega Red. I'm sure there's going to be more. I just want to see what they do with it. Obviously continuing the time honored tradition of having Wolverine played by an Australian guy. So we have that continuing. We have a question about Wolverine coming in from Justin at justin.bsky.social, writing in saying, do you guys think Wolverine's healing ability might make the game too easy or break the difficulty mechanic? Rice, what are we going to do with that healing factor?
Man, that's an interesting question, and it's valid. Do we know if there are difficulty tiers, and that if we can adjust that throughout the game?
We don't have any confirmation if it's Insomniac.
I didn't really say anything about that.
If it's Insomniac, I imagine they're going to have difficulty modes. Like I can't imagine them going like full Souls like with it. But yeah,
sure. I think that's easily remedied by the amount of health that's taken off as you're fighting different adversaries and stuff. So I guess like with those difficulty tiers, you can get hit less, like a percentage less than you would if you were doing a harder difficulty. Yeah, I mean the healing factor is the healing factor, but what is the rate at which he regenerates, right? So I think that's easily remedied.
Jenny, do you think that there's a chance that they like Metroid this and they kind of strip like a number of his kind of core tendencies away at the front of the game with like some adamantium bullet or something that like disables his healing factor and he has to like get it back again? Like, do you see a potential pathway down that way?
I hope not, because that would suck. I think if you want to do it, you do it kind of like you remember in Spider-Man where like the more combos you pull off or the longer the combo, that bar fills, and then you can press down to like refill your health. I think you do something very similar to that, where like the better combo you have, the more kind of like the more
like
hits
rage.
you get in.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of fills up your health, right? It is the longer combo versus like he can just being able to like run away and hide and let it heal back or something. I don't know. I don't think they would take it away. I really hope they don't take it away. Just find a really interesting way of using it.
I do kind of like what Rice is saying, where it's like I almost want it where like I kind of want the opposite of Spider-Man, where like you can't like re-heal for a chunk of your health at the same time, but like kind of combining, the more that you hit and kind of fuel Wolverine's rage, the more or faster his health will regen. So like if you are hitting and kind of taking out enemies ad nauseum, then like you're gonna heal fast, but the more you get pummeled, the slower it'll be. I do think there's some cool ways they could do that. I trust Insomniac inherently that they're gonna know what they're doing with this, but I do think it's an interesting question.
To your point about the adamantium bullet, though, I think that you know how in games like Last of Us and Tomb Raider, what else? Anyway, like you could also incorporate different death animations to make that more interesting as well. I mean, yeah, there could be they could be onto something if there were different ways for Wolverine to actually die. So yeah, that'd be cool.
I do wonder what they're gonna do with it. That's also like, I mean, it could also depend on at what stage we're with, Logan. Like if we're kind of gonna possibly jump through time, where at the beginning maybe his powers are more all over the place. He just got out of Weapon X, he doesn't know how to control them or whatever, and then kind of like as we go around the world, maybe his powers develop more. It's a huge question. Let me ask you both before we kind of roll off of Wolverine. do you think we see any iteration of the X-Men in this as like a unit? I'm not saying they're going to be playable. I'm not saying that we're going to like whatever, but like, do you think that there's a chance that like, you know, we kick off with like a fight with the X-Men? You know, you see Storm, you see Cyclops, you see whatever, and you're only playing as Wolverine, or do you think we'll see no X-Men? Like in terms of as like a unit in this game. Denny, what do you think?
I think we don't.
No?
No.
You think like you think potentially like a post-credits tease?
Yeah, maybe something like that, or maybe I don't know, because we did see the oh, what the hell's that thing called? It's drawing a blank.
Sentinel.
Thank you. We did see the Sentinel at the end, so I think no. I don't think if we're gonna see it, we're gonna see it really, really, really near the end.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I don't think we'd see it at all.
Okay, Rice, what do you think?
Man, everything in my body wants to see the X-Men in some iteration or another. I think it's possible. To either have literally just one or two scenes, like in a cutscene or something.
That's what I mean.
Just to build the universe that we're experiencing Logan and Wolverine in, so that we understand where the narrative is going. I don't think that they need to be playable, nor do I think they need to be a big part of the story, but that would put us in a place of specificity that would lend to the story.
I do, and I think, like I said, it would be really cool if, like, you know, the intro mission, you're like, you know, you're like running and fighting enemies. You see Storm fly by, you see like a eye beam from Cyclops. Like, I think you can kind of just do it in that way, and then just leave them at the door or towards the end.
Yeah.
One more question, because I think we do have some form of confirmation that this is sharing a universe with Spider-Man. Do you think there's a chance we see Miles or Pete?
Hundo P.
You think so?
Hundo P, man. Yeah, and I think I will have to
like that.
Broski, like I'm sure that it would be, if there was something included, that you would have to do something. At the very least, there would be some reference that would, kind of bridge the gap. But that would be crazy. That would be freaking crazy, dude.
I could see Logan, like, if we don't see them outright, I could see Logan like making a joke at their expense. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't crawl walls like those,
Sure.
like whatever, like those people in New York. Like, I could see some like throwaway line like that. Denny, do you think we should see it?
Yeah.
Spideys?
If we do, I think it's going to be DLC.
That would be sick.
Interesting. That would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
That'd be dumb.
That'd be insane. I like it.
Well, like in the Spider-Man games, I mean, there are a few things that they just allude to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spidey goes to that line about Doctor Strange,
or like the Avengers being out of town when you go to see Avengers Tower.
Yeah. Or King T'Challa and like, yeah. So there are references, obviously. I would hope that it's more than that. I hope that we do see something else, but it's nice to dream about it again.
It's nice to dream about it again. It's nice to know that we're getting at least 2 PlayStation first-party titles next year if all things go according to plan. So prepare thyselves.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep this train rolling. That's basically everything that we saw at the State of Play, but that was not the end of the announcements this week, because RGG also did a little RGG Direct and spoke directly to my Yakuza-loving heart. Because we got a RGG Direct. As I mentioned, this is written up by Dennis Price again. Shout out Dennis over here at Console Creatures. Yakuza Kiwami 3 alongside Pack in spin-off campaign Yakuza Gaiden Dark Ties announced, launching February 12th, the day after my birthday. It's like RGG knew that my Yakuza heart would be happy. But we got to look. This is, of course, they heard my prayers bringing forward Yakuza 3. This arguably is one of the ones that really needed a Kiwami-style remake. It is one of the most divisive titles in the Yakuza series, just because this is like a lot of the ones where you spend a lot of time at the orphanage that Kiryu is running at this point in the story. And they've like kind of gone all in on that. There's like a number of like added mini games and stuff like where you can actually hang out and spend time with the kids. I really love what they did with Yakuza 3. But even more so, the Dark Ties, mine or Mine, I can't remember how his name's pronounced, is one of like the franchise favorite villains, and to get like an entire side campaign, I think they said they're expecting it to be like 8-ish hours, which is way more than I ever anticipated getting from something like this. I am absolutely hyped. I love that they're doing this. Yakuza 3 again. Kiwami 3 was something. Kiwami 3 they could sell on their own, adding in like an expansive guidance like chapter for one of the most beloved villains in the entire franchise is sick. And they're adding in like a new fight style for Kiryu. They're just again, they're not slowing down. Okay, I'm confused. Hold on. Denny, can we get a fact check on release date for this, please? Because Dennis has the 11th at the bottom, but the 12th at the top.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
Can you give me a fact check on which one it is? Because if it's the 11th, then it's actually coming out on my birthday. Thank you, RGG. I appreciate you all so very much. I know I'm alone in this, but is anybody else hyped on Yakuza Kiwami 3?
I'm hyped for you.
Thank you. I'll take it.
I still have yet to dive into the Yakuza universe, but I'm excited for people because like listen, if you're a Yakuza fan, I know that you love Yakuza. You know what I mean? Like everyone that I know that plays, like they are all their chips are in, bro. So like I'm excited for you, and I hope that it's everything you guys dreamed of.
Denny coming in, official sites, second says February 12th. All right, fine. It's a belated birthday gift. I'll take it.
Birthday week, right? We celebrate
birthday week,
birthday month.
Okay.
Continuing on the Kojima train, let's hop over onto there because we got our first look at Fizzant. I think that's how it's pronounced. A new poster from Kojima Productions. This is coming again, written by Bobby over here at Console Creatures. We know that is going to be starring Charlie Fraser from Furiosa, Don Lee from The Eternals, and Minami Hamabe from Godzilla Minus One are joining the cast. This, of course, is going to be his new stealth series. I'm pretty sure PlayStation exclusive. He's working with PlayStation again on this one. A brand new original a next generation action espionage game. I am so fucking excited. As much as I love Death Stranding, I really want to see what a new stealth espionage action game from Kojima in the year of the Lord. I'm sure it's going to be like 2028. But like, I'm so curious to see what creativity is going to bring to the table. I'm so stoked.
Look at this art.
Crazy, right?
Badass.
This art is so sick. Like, this is such a badass poster.
Like, give me like a Psycho Mantis moment again. Like, give me those things where like, like you had to like they used to like read your system memory and like pull out your save files like back in the day, or like where you have to like again in Metal Gear Solid 3 where you have to kill yourself to get through a boss fight. Like, just so many insanely cool and unique mechanics. I just can't wait to see what he does with this. I think this is really dope. Beautiful.
Yeah, man. Same.
We're a ways out, but just wanted to shout that out because it looks dope. This one is for Denny. I put this one in here squarely for Denny because we got our first in-depth look at the Magic the Gathering: A Secret Lair X PlayStation collaboration launching this October. This is coming from Grace Chen over at the PlayStation blog. I swear like Magic is becoming the Fortnite of card games where they're just now everything there's a Magic version.
God.
There's a Final Fantasy, there's a Spider-Man, there's now a PlayStation. There's we got Joel and Ellie. We got Abby. We got Ellie again from Nathan. We got from Last of Us. We got
the Brickmaster is a crazy name.
Incredible. Kratos and Atreus. Of course, there's Aloy. Jin Sakai being there. Denny, you're the Resident Magic guy. How are we feeling about this collab?
It's cool. I mean, I'm kind of glad it's not a full set and it's just a secret lair drop. So they don't have to go completely balls to the wall and make like 300 cards. They can just focus on the legendary creatures that they've made. I really like the fact that they're kind of teaming all these guys up and you can actually have 2 commanders in your deck. It's very, very, very unique. I can't remember I don't remember any commanders where you could have 2 in a deck. And actually, no, that's a totally different question. But yeah,
I think it's a wise collab, really.
It's smart. And I think like my favorite so far has definitely been the God of War ones. Like I think Kratos is almost overpowered.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he's got double strike.
Dang, pop off Kratos.
And he's gonna give all creatures haste. Like, what the fuck? And he's only a 3 mana cost. Shut the front door.
Shut it.
Atreus, the impulsive son.
Right. Yep. Well, not this Kratos, but the other Kratos card is amazing. This one's badass. yeah, these are cool. I'm glad it's a secret layer drop, but that also means they're going to be hella expensive. Just like the Sonic the Hedgehog ones were, so that's going to hurt my wallet a little bit.
There was also Sonic ones.
Yes.
Man, like Magic is just like knocking at my door. I used to play like 20 years ago and I haven't really played it since. But like it just between Final Fantasy, the Spider-Man ones, I like come on, man. Like it's
what is that?
It's a Final Fantasy Cloud.
What's the collab there, Denny?
That's Cloud. It's from Final Fantasy 7. It's from the Cloud Commander deck.
That's crazy.
Crazy work, bro. I'm stoked for you. I'm excited to see them when you buy them and spend all your money on them. Let's keep this train rolling. Microsoft dropped a new little announcement for us. We got Forza Horizon 6 coming next year to Xbox. Unveiled at TGS because this time it is set in Japan. We do know that it is coming to PlayStation 5. Just it won't be at launch. I find this interesting that they wouldn't drop this day and date. It feels like it's far enough away that like I'm sure they could get it out the door to hit kind of concurrently. I don't know, if they're trying to drive Game Pass subs or whatever. Like I liked Forza Horizon 5 quite a lot. And the prospect of 6 being set in Japan makes me very, very excited.
Crazy.
I'll just wait for the PlayStation drop.
So I have a question.
Denny, talk to me.
And I just want to know, because I read this, I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense. Microsoft is still keeping some like timed exclusivity. And you guys are both kind of like, oh, why is it not coming out on PS5 like day in, day out? Why?
I feel like they've gone really platform agnostic at this point. The message that they've been kind of touting over the last year is play where you want. Our shit's going to be everywhere. And the kind of value proposition to play on Xbox would be, oh, it's on Game Pass, right? So like, why not have it hit everywhere and get like a massive, put out your 5 million units sold in 2 weeks or whatever that you could get by putting it on a PlayStation. I don't think you'll get that if it's just on Xbox. I mean, yeah, Windows is a nice bump, but
if I'm Microsoft and I'm being, platform agnostic, right? My argument then would be like, okay, I'm giving it to everybody who is loyal to Xbox because they would have been loyal to the Forza brand. Fine, Xbox gets it, Windows gets it. People who have an ROG Ally get it. I was gonna
say, do they release a bundle specific to
right? You move units, you move software. I see it as kind of like everything else. Like Sony does this too, right? They launch a PlayStation Studio exclusive game. Spider-Man 2 comes out on the PS5. 6 months later, we finally get it on PC. So
for sure,
I feel like that's exactly what Microsoft's doing, and maybe they're doing it to help ramp up, their ROG Ally sales, or just to be able to say like, hey, it is worth your while to get it on Game Pass.
Yeah, like if you want to buy, the equivalent of 2 PlayStations worth to buy the ROG Ally X, pop off.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but there are people out there, Matt, who might.
Not me.
Yeah.
I'm out on this one.
Okay.
Nice. Rice, talk to me.
There's the equivalent of the, PlayStation princes like yourself on the other side. And I do think there is some merit to catering to that crowd, but if that is the move, I think that it's purely experimental on Microsoft's part, considering how much they've kind of shot themselves in the foot with the whole everything is an Xbox, right? So it's an interesting I still don't know what the F Microsoft is doing, but okay.
and like that's my question, because if you, as this current version of Xbox, where you're clearly after the most amount of return for what you're putting out, the people who have an Xbox, like they've clearly given up on hardware sales.
Yes,
in my opinion. They keep raising prices. There's another price increase coming. Like we know that it is now cheaper to buy yourself a PS5 Pro than an Xbox Series X at its highest kind of SKU. So to like the smaller number of people who are going to play this on their Xbox, I would argue, like if you're trying to get the most bang for your buck here and get the biggest return as fast as possible, why not drop it to the player base that will support that has like threefold your sales numbers. Like that's what I don't understand here, because like you could still have your you can still cater to the Xbox people by dropping it day and date on Game Pass as they will. You don't have to pay anything to play it on Xbox if you have your Game Pass. All you PlayStation people, pay full price, but you're going to get a day and date too. Like I feel like, especially in the cadence of the video game industry as it currently stands, there are too many good games that are coming out that by the time old game is old, I'd argue you'll lose sales.
You'll lose, for sure.
Because people will wait for a sale at that point. If it's already 6 months later, the kind of, the zeitgeist of that game in that time doesn't matter as much anymore. And of course, we've seen, the difference where they finally dropped God of War or Spider-Man on PC and whatever. But that's PC. That's a different market. You're going to have that day and date already with the Xbox title. I don't see the value in keeping it away from PlayStation players at this point. If your plan is that it's coming anyway, you've given up on hardware sales. From what it seems like. PlayStation does it because they still want you to buy in on their hardware. Right?
Yeah. And they boast it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And like I think we're reaching with these inferences, but at the same time, I'm starting to really think that this is a smoke and mirrors game for Xbox, for Microsoft. And so either that or execs are incredibly stupid.
Execs are incredibly stupid.
I mean, it could be both, but like, it's probably the it's probably that.
Let's hit one more news story to kind of close out before we round out with some questions. And this is one that I'm going to rely on probably Denny to help me explain. This is coming from Console Creatures, once again, written by Dennis Price. But EA reportedly going private in $50 billion buyout. Silver Lake and Saudi Arabia's public investment fund named as key investors as stocks rise. Third-party game publisher EA, behind Madden, the returning college football series, the former FIFA brand EA Sports, FC, NHL, and Battlefield 6, is reportedly going private in a buyout deal valued at near $50 billion with key investors, according to the Wall Street Journal report. It's expected to be announced this coming week. If it goes through, it's going to be the biggest leveraged buyout of all time if it happens. Denny, I see a lot of people upset about this, and I wonder, or not upset, but it's kind of like it's like, oh well, if EA was already shit, it's about to get a whole lot worse. Can you tell me why?
See, that's an interesting thing, because I have a different thought about that.
So do you think that it would be worse, or would it get better?
I personally think it might get better.
There's potential, but we don't.
It could get shitty at the beginning because they may, your parent company or whatever you want to call them, might find a way to look at redundancies and kind of make it more efficient and optimize everything that they have there. Layoffs, absolutely. And that's going to be the pain point at the beginning as they try to reshape EA. But EA has always been about, when you're a publicly traded company, we all know about this. When you're a publicly traded company, you report to the shareholders. If your game doesn't perform, your stock dips, your value dips, shareholders not happy. By taking them away and making this a private company, you're giving EA the opportunity to actually make sure their games are stellar and they're not just relying on annual releases of Madden and NHL and FIFA and NBA. No, and whatever they do. They don't do NBA. So like we might get better quality games. It might just be a little painful at the start. And I think that may be where people are upset because it's going to suck. People are going to lose jobs. Studios might shut down, but EA has always been notorious for buying a studio, getting them put out a game and then shutting them down anyway. So,
but do you obviously the investors involved here are also cause for concern. Given where, the kind of difference I would argue in culture versus kind of like the world at large and the kind of, where this money is coming from. There's a lot of people who are kind of like, is there potential here that what we're going to get are inherently worse products because what they're going to be is they're going to be like, we want our money now. Before you had to kind of cater to the public because you needed the public to buy in. Now, if it's execs being like, we want, 8 releases a year, all of them microtransactioned to the fucking, to the brim, because all we want are revenue generating services. I think, Denny, in a hopeful world where the people buying in genuinely care about the gaming industry and are looking to get, better games out the door. Yeah, I could see that argument. My worry here is that we're going to have people who just see EA as a money printing machine, and everything around it's going to suffer. I don't know, Rice, where are you at?
Yeah, I'm more likely to lean towards skeptical in this hopeful world that we're talking about here. That would be great. I mean, like what you're speaking on, Denny, is a net positive essentially, right? Like it would be painful at first, but given that the investors are people who are more in touch with the industry and, you know, uh have some sort of care or passion for gaming as a whole, then yeah, I would love to see that. I would really love to see that. And at the end of the day, I think that it's one of those things where it's like, I want to be wrong about my cynicism, but I think that the realist in me is a little reluctant. This is big money.
Oh yeah.
And like you say, like it's big money from certain places that that worry me in terms of what direction they really want to take this. It's just really a transfer of power. And I don't yet know if that power has enough identity for me to really think that it's going to be in a good place. That said, I hope this net positive perspective is somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll find out once this actually hits, and as we see what kind of falls out after it. We have a couple of questions that we're going to hit on. Edward Varnell from Elite Block Agent from the Boss Rush Network writes in saying, since we're having a buffet of amazing titles hitting 2026 for every console, do you think PlayStation is bringing the desserts, the sides, or the main meal with their titles? And will there be more secret meals that make it even better? Denny, is PlayStation serving main course next year if we're looking at the Switch 2, the PS5? If we look at the gaming landscape, is PS5 going to be the place to play? Are they bringing sides, desserts? What are they contributing to the meal that is 2026?
So if we're gonna go with the whole meal analogy, they're bringing like the specials. So like, you've got your standard mains, you've got your standard apps, you've got your standard, but they're bringing in. God, I hate this. It's fall, so everything's going pumpkin spice. No,
Yo, I knew you were gonna say that.
They're bringing in like the seasonal delights.
Yeah, right. Like it's Lobster Fest. Let's go. 2026 is Lobster Fest. All you can eat shrimp, endless shrimp. I don't know. It's that. I think what they're doing is everyone's bringing their usual. Everyone's bringing what they normally would. We're gonna get our little sprinkle of Nintendo magic. Xbox is gonna throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. And then we're just gonna get the specials. We're already looking forward towards Saros. We're looking forward towards Wolverine. Those are kind of the things that you look forward to, and that's the special. That's going to be the flavor of the time. And then once it's done, we're going to get something new special.
Rice, talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're onto something there, Denny. Like, the first thing that came to mind was Michelin star recognized in terms of PlayStation, because I mean, like if you're younger and you're playing on your Switch and you're catering to that kind of ethos of games, you also haven't experienced life yet. And I think that PlayStation, I don't know.
PlayStation
Growing
is
up,
for us depressed kids,
Yeah, yes. I think that even as a kid, I knew that the PlayStation titles that I really liked were actually kind of more geared towards an older demographic, an adult demographic that can consume this stuff and really understand it. So, yeah, there's nuance and layers to that. So I think you're onto something there, Denny.
I have to agree, because I think that I do feel like there's going to be something else. There's too much, like, where there's smoke, there's fire when it comes to like a 2D God of War, when it comes to other stuff there. I feel like the kind of two tentpole experiences will be Saros and will be Wolverine, and I have no doubt in my mind that those are both going to be fantastic experiences given the pedigree of the developers involved. If it was like Bend and even like Blue Point, if they're doing something new, yeah, maybe there's a little bit of trepidation about whatever's coming out. House of Ark has not missed when it comes to gameplay since the beginning of the PS4 generation. Every single title that they've put out has been buttery smooth to play, and I'm expecting nothing less from Saros. Insomniac puts out awesome, just fun, comic book stuff in the last little while, and they understand how to make a game feel good and be fun to play. I have no doubt in my mind that Wolverine will be that as well. These kinds of experiences, I feel like we just don't get as much elsewhere. PlayStation's kind of first party is almost this like, it's almost like the MCU where it's just like there's a couple tentpole things you're going to get in a year. You know that you're going to enjoy them to some extent. Quality varies, I'm talking about like peak MCU, but like you're getting something here that you're not getting elsewhere.
That's a whole other episode back.
You're not going to, I know, don't get me started. You're not going to get these experiences on Switch. You'll get the same Xbox experiences on your PlayStation anyway. So like they're bringing something here that is truly special. It's going to be, it might be a main, it might be a dessert, it might be a side, but it's one of those ones that where like everybody's going to be talking about it when you show up with that thing, regardless of what it is, And Secret Meals, I think there's more coming. I don't know I don't think it's going to be like 3 more games, but I think there might be 1 or 2 in the pipeline that we don't know about yet that they're probably going to hit us with soon. They're still cooking. Dragoon Arc writes in and saying, all right, Bubs, do you think Sony has shown enough from their first party with the latest state of play with Saros and Wolverine, or do you expect any major announcement between now and the Game Awards? If so, which studio would you expect to hear from before the year's end? Rice, who's cooking? Is anybody still left in the cards?
I mean, specifically to the question right now, between now and the Game Awards, I don't know, man. GTA 6?
No, he said Sony first party.
Oh, Sony first party. Sorry. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. Because I'm so enthralled with what they gave us. That I don't see anything being like shadow dropped or given to us considering what we were expecting. So
Denny, thoughts?
Likewise, I'm very content with their offerings right now. The 2 games that they've said I'm looking forward to. I honestly don't think, even just forget first party, but everything that's coming out with third party titles as well. I don't think I have the bandwidth to take anymore.
Yeah, I think that I do think that they will have something at the Game Awards. I have no doubt in my mind. I do think that God of War, if that that Metroidvania God of War or whatever is a thing, I think that makes sense to show that off there, especially if that is a mid-year title. They've done a really good thing with their state of plays at this time of year, where they're like, here's something to look forward in the first few months, and here's something to look forward towards the back half. So we know that we kind of have the year bookended with PlayStation first party titles. They can kind of fill in the middle as they go. I mean, whether it's an Interstellar gameplay drop at the Game Awards, or like I said, a God of War, or something else that we might know about, whether that's Bend or whether that's Blue Point.
Oh, Intergalactic, you mean?
Intergalactic, thank you, not Interstellar. Intergalactic.
That's okay. I was like, whoa, we get an Interstellar game? What?
Yeah. Thanks for catching me. Intergalactic gameplay drop. I mean, Naughty Dog and the Game Awards are like 2 peas in a pod at this point, so I would be surprised if we get something from them there. I do think we'll have something more. How much of a thing will be the kind of question. But I think of, like, again, Santa Monica, we know, has been cooking. Cory Barlog's game is out there. Whatever's going on with Fair Games, I think Bend has been teasing stuff for a little while. They're probably ready to go or close to. There is potential here. It's just kind of when they want to unleash it upon us.
I guess I'm also like Zendaya, MJ, and trying not to expect too much. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So I wanna be very
pleasantly surprised.
Yes, exactly.
Before we roll out, let's kind of check back in on our state of play predictions from last week, because Denny did us the favor of going through here. Let's start with Denny. Denny said the Final Fantasy Remake 3 Part 3 No, that wasn't there. Guerrilla Games, Monster Hunter, anything? Not just Monster Hunter, but Horizon. Nope. RE9, surprisingly, nope. And the Final Fantasy 9 remaster, also nope. So Denny coming in hot with this with the massive 0 points.
Let's go.
Rice following up. Intergalactic gameplay, wrong. GTA 6, shockingly, wrong. Marvel Tokon, also wrong. And Bloodborne 2, again, really genuinely shocked that it's wrong. And for myself, Corey Barlow's new game, wrong. So I said Saros, I said gameplay, and I said February 2026. I was a month off. I think that's close. Half a point. I think that's half a point.
Yeah, I'll give it to that.
I gave you half a point for that.
I would even say 7.75 because I was like so close, like a month.
Yeah,
off.
dude.
0.67.
0.67.
2 out of 3. 0.67.
What is time anyway?
Yote Legends, we did not see. That's coming next year. That's another thing you can lock in for next year. That is
coming. Yes.
You know, that's another experience. And of course, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2, the shock of the century. We didn't see that either. So I came out on top this one. I have taken the crown. I think it was from Court and Denny.
So.
And it is now me. I am the current ruling champion of the prediction season with a whopping 0.67 of a point.
Flex on him.
Yeah, that's it. Between this and my fantasy critic, y'all are fucked. But that brings us to the end of this week's show, folks. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Denny, before we go, if people want to see and hear more from you, including like where you might be streaming some more Silent Hill F, where can they do that?
Let's go.
Well, they can find me crying and screaming and peeing my pants while I play Silent Hill F on Twitch, and I will be posting clips on Instagram a little later. Anything else, you will find those on my Linktree. So Linktree/Dinnerkin Gaming.
Go check out Denny and all the requisite spots. And of course, Rice, my boy, where can people see you doing your thing?
Absolutely. Working on some YouTube content, which you can find on my Linktree, Rice BOYYY TV. Go check that out.
Go check out Rice and all the spots as well. Of course, you can find myself here at Console Creatures. I have more coming for you soon, so please be excited, along with more of my words over at butwhythough.net. Folks, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Take care of each other. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Bye.